Hey, I'm Chris Berman. Got a lot of games to cover. Let's get at it. In our first game this week, we had the Rams end up with an 8-point victory. In a long-standing AFC rivalry, we had the Jets pick up win number 2. Muhsin Muhammad stepped it up this week and gave his team some added firepower for the win. In the city by the bay, San Francisco, we had the 49ers win by a 9-point margin. Browns, Steelers. Dennis Northcutt is in his own territory, but he's got a lot of room to run. We know about his speed. There's a couple of moves. Oh, boy! The defense overlooked him. He could go all the way. 76-yard touchdown. The Browns win this one by the final score of 20-17. A.J. Touchy-Feely passed for 150 yards plus and helped his Dolphins beat the Patriots. Over at the RCA Dome, we had the Colts narrowly coming out on top by 5. The Vikings racked up over 150 rushing yards in their win at Reliant Stadium. Jaguars, Chargers. Fred Taylor is inside his own 20. Gets the handoff, goes off right tackle. The defense must have been fast asleep. The midfield, the 40, the 30, the 20, the 10, the 5, 82 yards. The Jaguars go on to win this by the final score of 35-24. We had a big trade also of note here. Trey's got the lowdown for us. Trey?
All right, Chris. Well, trades aren't quite as common in the NFL nowadays as they are in other sports, certainly. But we've got news to report to you on the trading front nonetheless. Adrian Dingle leaves the Chargers and is on his way to the Eagles. And they obviously see that as one of the areas that needs improvement. In exchange, they'll get someone to beef up their roster. Jerome McDougal ought to be a welcome addition to this pass rush as they stockpile some bodies along the defensive line.
The Cowboys won at home and will stay home for next week's game when they meet the Steelers. We had a big injury in this one, and Trey has the lowdown for us. Trey? In a long-standing NFC rivalry, we had the Buccaneers win their 4th game of the year. Lavernius Coles stepped it up this week and gave his team some added firepower for the win. On the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field in Green Bay, we had the Packers end up on the right side of an 11-point game. We had an interesting free agency pickup of note here. Trey's got the lowdown for us. Trey?
All right, Chris. Let's switch gears and talk about players that'll have new homes in the National Football League, as free agency continues to play such a huge role in determining a team's makeup. This guy will be playing his football elsewhere, though perhaps not for as much as he would have liked. 4 years, $2.4 million. This guy will also have a new address for a while as he signs a 4-year contract with the Titans. Antoine Smith will have a new place to call home as he accepts a new contract. 6 years, $6.3 million. Mo Lewis got snatched up as well, and he signs a 2-year contract with the Redskins.
And last but not least, we had the Falcons come away victorious. So that'll just about do it. But before we go, I'm going to toss out a few game balls to my prime-time players. Each and every one of these men had a week to remember. That'll do it, sports fans. I'm Chris Berman, and thanks so much for joining us here in the Bristol studios. We'll see you next week right here on ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.